Hello there, it's Andrew Lynch from Andrew Lynch Golf, and I've got Dustin Johnson, who is the first round leader of the 2015 British Open at St Andrews. He's got kind of like, maybe like the 21st century swing, you could call it. He's very athletic. You don't have this swing if you're not a gym member. So let's have a look at what Dustin does. I've put all the usual lines in, and let's have a look at this iron swing. It's in slow-mo, and you can see there, stopping it there, you can see that that club is pretty much on his spine angle. So Dustin is, pretty much a square to square play. Takes it inside a little bit, but it is square. So it's inside a little bit, but square. So he's not fanning the club open, so that's a compensation that Dustin isn't going to have to do. So as you can see there, so let's take that forward. And there, just pause it there, you can see that his rear leg has gone back a little bit, but he's not changed the angle, which means he's really loaded into this rear leg. So this angle here, not changed. So that's a degree of flexibility and athleticism that he's got. So and you can see there he's kept the angles. He's come over that tush line a little bit, but that big trademark bow, here he's got here, something that Butch Harmon decided not going to change, because he's not a hands player. What you're going to see here as you rotate this, as he rotates forward, is he's very much a kind of a body player. So if he played with his hands, you would never have heard of him, because he'd be flipping the club all over the place. But as you see, from keeping the club head square, he's again not using the hands. And so if we take this forward into impact and just back a bit, now he's obviously a little bit of separation there between the club, the setup angle and the actual impact angle. You can see though he's even still kept that rear, even though that rear leg has moved, obviously he's moving forward now, he's kept the angle in the rear leg. And interesting enough, if you notice just before impact, he's actually staring somewhere kind of like in this kind of region. He's not got his eye on the ball, which is kind of a previous video I did, which is, George Knudsen, don't, head plays no part in the swing, so if blind people can play golf, why do you need to be looking at the ball all the time? And there, he's not looking at the ball. Now, he does do that a little bit more with the driver, which we'll see in a minute, but you can see there, he's definitely not looking at the ball. He's letting his head rotate to target, as they say to students, because it's a more natural way to do it. Just like a baseball pitcher doesn't try to keep his head rock solid still. So he's there rotating to target, and if you notice there, if you look at this there, definitely nice, kind of like there's no flip going on there. He's still got the angle in his rear hand, and nice and straight there, knuckles kind of down with the front one. So if we take that on, and on he goes. So that's his iron swing. Just play it all the way through. Just get rid of the lines now. And it's just huge rotational forces and straight through. And if you notice, he even keeps his angle in his spine, it seems, even when he's finished the swing. So it's a very athletic swing, but it's a simple swing. You know, it's he just doesn't rotate, loads up nicely, unloads again, and that's why people say, "Oh, well, he's not won a major," but let's face it, he's not doing bad. He's earning plenty of dollar, and to do that, you must be competing and you must have a good swing. So this is a simple swing. It's a kind of pretty much a square to square swing with the extra element of this kind of athleticism that he's got. So let's see his driver swing on the right here. Now it's interesting. I show clients, a good grip, a very bad grip, a hooker's grip, and then a very weak grip. And I hit the ball straight with all three. And so I say the grip is important in my kind of book when you don't rotate very well. So if you don't rotate very well, you better have a good grip. You better kind of work out what your grips, because you're going to probably more fan the club. So, if you're not using your body, you're using your arms. And if you're using your arms, then you're into your hands. So the grip here on Dustin, as you can see, is very strong. And it would be, if you took him to a teacher, they'd say, "Oh, you've got a hooker's grip, my son." But when you see this swing, so we're just going to play this through. There we go. See, not a lot of rotation there again. Doesn't come over that back leg line, and then huge rotation and through. Now, the reason he can get away with that strong grip, and I can when I'm demonstrating it, is, so I'm just going to get rid of the lines now, because we can work out he really loads there, never sways off the ball, see, and then head, lovely position there. So let's get rid of those lines and show you his impact position there. Now, so certainly not flipped. Take it on, still not flipped over. And you can see there, just keep it going. He's still kind of like, that ball now has gone like, what, 4 foot out of the frame now. That club face is still square. It's obviously coming inside a little bit, but he's not released the club. So this is kind of a little bit like, I'd say kind of like Paul Azinger used to say, he never thought about releasing the club. Azinger was a little bit the same, and he had a pretty darn good career as well. Because he was just rotating. So, you take him on there, still not release that club. Now you can just see it there starting to release. That ball's probably already gone about 100, well, about probably 75 yards or more. So that's why that strong grip doesn't hurt him. So if the grip is, if you've got great body rotation, then your grip is not as important. Freddie Couples, strong grip, world #1. Dustin Johnson, well, but for a few lapses, he'd have had 2 or 3 majors by now. But he is playing exceptionally well, and who knows, 2015 British Open could be his. But here you're seeing that he's got a simple swing that he has found from his athletic kind of like ability that he has. So it's not complicated, and I think if he can hold a few more putts, I'll just let this play on. If he can hold a few putts, then he could be a serious contender in the Open. But as I say, what you learn here is really from Dustin's swing is, it is an athletic game, and it's just when you look at Dustin's swing, you see the fact that it is a very athletic swing there, and if you're not in that kind of shape or even remotely near it, this is not a swing to copy, because it does involve using the lower body there. He's got very strong legs and rotating like heck. So from Andrew Lynch, Over and out. Any questions, drop me a line. Thank you very much.